Welcome to my blog, stampwithelaine.com. Today I've got some really exciting products to show you. Last week I showed you the new envelope punch board. Well, this week I'm going to be showing you the Thinlit dies. This one is the labels one. It will come in a big plastic envelope like this. I've cut a template so that you can see this better. Basically they have the card die, which makes it so much easier to cut your swing card, and this is what it will look like. So you fold this back and you fold that forward, and then you have that super mechanism. So these are the other dies. I've put it on a magnetic sheet so it's easier for me to access. Now these two little banners are interesting. They actually, when you die cut them, there are score lines, so then you can fold the little banner like so. And similarly with this one, you can fold it into a straight banner like this. So it's got a 3D effect. And then there's a tiny little label frame, and there's some wording there as well, and arrows. Very much in fashion. And similarly, this is the circles one. I've put my magnetic sheet on here so it's easier for me to keep track of my things, just like I did with the other one. So that's the one that cuts the cardstock. So here we are. So you fold just like the other one, you fold that back and you fold this forward, and then it makes that swing card. There are 9 attachments altogether. It's probably easier to see from my cutouts. There's thanks, it spells thanks. There's a scallop circle as well. There's a little label and the chevron dies. You've got a straight label cut. This wording that just spells yay, a little star, and hugs and kisses. Next you need to cut a piece of cardstock that measures widthways just a tad short of 5.5 inches, and that's just 8 1/4 inches across. And basically, if we're going to be doing an extended card, which means that you don't want the die to cut right through this edge here. So what you do is you pop one end of it above the die and leave the other section flush, so that it will this framelit here will cut through the cardstock. Most people would then put the die with the cutting edge face down, but because I like to see where I'm cutting so that I can make sure that this is flush with the cutting edge, that I don't see any reason why we can't put the die face up in your sandwich, because then you can see exactly where your die is placed. I'll bring it up closer to the camera so you can see. So it's flush with the edge there. You can see it much better if it's face up. And as it's being sandwiched in the magnetic plate anyway, when you roll it through the big shot, it shouldn't make any difference. But remember, you need to use your magnetic plate. Make your sandwich as normal. So don't forget your base cutting plate, and then followed by the die, your cardstock, and the top cutting plate. So then we'll run this through the big shot. You will hear it crack, but that's just normal. It's not going to break your machine. So you can see where it's cut through, and then this bar here should actually score, or I'll have to take it out so I can show you better. You can see it's got a faint score line there, and so you fold this side back, and this line here you fold forward, and then where you can see the faint mark, you fold toward you. And then the nice thing about our cardstock is that it's just the right size, so it doesn't actually peek through the back. If I'd cut the cardstock at 8.5 by 5.5, which is what our American cousins suggest, what happens is that when you close that card, it extends. You can see there's a bit peeping out through there. So I've done it with the European measurements, and you don't have that problem. See, it doesn't show through. Just thought I'd mention it. Next, we want some inserts or layers for the card. So it's this layer here and the inside layer. Now, I'm not bothered this time about having to leave a margin as I've done here. So it's a sort of 1/8 of an inch all round. I've cut the cardstock, let me check the measurements, it's 2 7/8 across and 5 1/4 inches long, and on this narrower portion it's 2 1/8 by 5 1/4 again. So what I'm going to do is this is my magnetic plate. I'll put the frame die there, and I need an equidistance between the edge of the die, and it's the same with this piece, so I'll butt it up to the label, more or less right, and then I place my other cutting plate on top, and then I'll just go and run it through the big shot. So I'm back after having run it through the big shot. I can remove the pieces. And these should just fit nicely in there. Okay. I still need to trim a little border off it, so I think I'll just take off a tad, say about 1/8 of an inch. See how that looks. Yeah, that's fine. And the same on this side. And there's another piece here for this last panel, which I cut at 2 1/8 by 5 1/4. So now we're ready to glue it all. piece to go in the middle. I do like using Tombow because it gives you a bit of wiggle room. And then the last panel, just went off camera for a little while because I couldn't get the card off the table. There you go. So I quite like a bit of contrast there without anything. So that basically is the mechanics of the card.